Hi everyone, it's Crystal. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, episode number 2. I do want to say thank you for being here, and if you watched my first introduction, I also want to say thank you for that. So I was sitting down and I was like, where did I get started? How did I get started? And I did want to add, before I even start getting at it and where I did start in my journey, I do want to add a quick little maybe FYI or disclaimer, whatever you want to call it, that if you are here just to follow along in my journey, I do want to say thank you. That is amazing. If you are here, maybe you can learn something along the way. If you are here because you truly want change, then I want to say congratulations. I am super proud of you for doing that, because it does take a big step to actually say I want a different output in life, or I want a different change, or I just want a different point of view. So I do want to say congrats, and I'm super proud of that for you. I do want to add in here though that if you are here for change, then I would recommend to try everything that I say. If it doesn't work for you, that is completely okay. Try a different way, because just because it worked for me doesn't mean it's gonna work for you. The thing is that this is your journey and you get to try it in a way that works for you. So yeah, I'm gonna share how it got me to where I'm at, and hopefully you can get a little piece of that to implement into your daily life. So yeah, just wanted to add that in there just so that you know that it's really up to you to want the change and implement the change. And so that actually is going to lead me to my first topic and the first place that I started. So I was kind of looking back and I was like, where did I start? Where did it all just start coming together? And I want to add in here that, not that it's important, but it's a way that I was able to notice that I was really out of alignment, that I was not okay. So typically I'm not a really heavy girl. I never have really been. I mean, I was a little, in high school I was super tiny, and then you graduate and you just gain after high school weight, but I was never like super heavy. And for me, that was the first thing that I started noticing, was that I was gaining a lot of weight. I was, I think I was up to like 155 pounds, and I'm super short, guys. So for me, as a short girl at 155 pounds, you could really tell that I was gaining weight. And so that is where I kind of put a stop to everything. I was noticing things that I was putting upon myself that I'm like, wait, why am I doing that? So for example, one of the things that I used to do is I would put excuses for myself. And that is the first topic, and that is where I started to notice those excuses that I put for myself. So for example, I would eat my meal, and then after I would be like, I have to have some chocolate, or I have to have something sweet. And those are the little habits that you start noticing, like, wait, do I really need that piece of chocolate, or am I just telling myself that? Or there was times where I would get like the urge to like go out and go on a jog, and I'd be like, no, it's too late, or I don't have time. Those little excuses that I started noticing in myself that I was putting towards me. I was being my own block, and it just started there. And I remember the day that I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna eat sugar anymore, I'm not gonna drink soda anymore, I'm just gonna leave that. Like, I'm not gonna do it anymore. If it's there, I'm not even gonna look at it. I'm gonna say no. And so that is truly where I got started in my first one. So I wanna tell you, look at where you have your I have to's, or I can't do it because of this. Just take a moment and look back and really ask yourself, where is it that I put excuses for myself? Where is it that I'm stopping myself from doing something. And maybe it's not even losing weight. That for me was a way that I noticed that I was in out of alignment is by my weight. And so ask yourself, like, what do I usually love to do? Like, did you used to love reading? Did you used to love exercising? Did you used to love, I don't, there's so much out there that we love that we tend to just go on through life, and we don't stop and think and stop and put that time towards ourselves. So yeah, I'm going to challenge you guys for this next week to just stop and ask yourself, where is it that I can change a habit, or where is it that I'm putting it an excuse that doesn't let me grow or doesn't let me change? Foundation for you guys. This book was actually a really, really big eye-opener for me. It was probably one of the first self-help books that I read, I believe it was. I used to, when I was in high school, when I was in like middle school, I used to love reading fiction, and a friend actually introduced me to the self-help books, and so this was actually one of the very first ones that got me to really look at my habits and say, okay, do I really want to continue being this way, or am I going to just make that change? And so it's this one, Atomic Habits. And so I highlighted some little parts of it that are my favorite that I wanted to share with you guys that could probably help you in implementing something new this week for yourself, or just changing something that you want to change about yourself. I will add in here, before I get started on the book, a lot of the times we don't want to change something about ourselves, or we don't want to accept that we're putting an excuse, because we're actually really fearful. That's what it comes down to, is that we have fear in being different, or fear in making change. So I will add in here that if you're feeling this way, I just want to say, just stop and ask yourself, like, am I afraid of change? Because I read this quote and it said, it's scary to change, but it's actually scarier to stay the same. So ask yourself that question and see if that resonates with you. So yeah, I'll dive into the book on the parts that I highlighted that I thought would be good to share for this. So the first one, let me see. Okay, so I'm just gonna read a little part of it, and then I'll talk a little bit about it after. So the further automatic a behavior becomes, the less likely we are to consciously think about it. And when we've done something 1,000 times before, we begin to overlook things. We assume that the next time will be just like the last. We're so used to doing what we've always done that we won't stop to question whether it's right to do at all. So that part just kind of goes to show that our behaviors are just automatic. We've done something for so long that when you want change, it feels out of normal. It feels like fear. It feels like scary to be able to want to change something in your life. I'll keep reading on. So it says, many of our failures in performance are largely attributed to lack of self-awareness. One of our greatest challenges in changing habits is maintaining awareness of what we are actually doing. So you might not even know that you have any habits, or you might not even know that you're doing something repeatedly just because it's so normal to you. So I would tell you, like, look at your normal everyday life and ask, is this really what's getting me to a better state of mind, or a better state of consciousness, or is this getting me to a better place to feel emotionally secure? So ask yourself those questions when it comes to looking at your everyday life, and see where it is that you can make that change. So the next part, this talks about self-control. So how I mentioned in the beginning, I always used to say that I needed to. This was like I needed to. And when I say I needed to, is that I would, even if I didn't have sugar at home, I would go buy sugar. Like, that's how bad it used to be. So self-control, this is going to take a lot of self-control. So this part that I highlighted is actually about self-control. So it says, self-control is a short-term strategy, not a long-term one. You may be able to resist temptation once or twice, but it's unlikely you can muster the willpower to override your desires every time. Instead of summoning a new dose of willpower whenever you want to do the right thing, your energy would be better spent optimizing your environment. This is the secret to self-control. Make the cues of your good habits obvious and the cues of your bad habits invincible. So it does take a lot. It takes, and the thing is, like, I'm gonna say relapse because it is like an addiction. These habits are an addiction because of how used to we are of doing them. So I will say, when you have that temptation of wanting to reach for the sugar or wanting to reach for that soda or wanting to whatever it is that your habit is, just know that your secret is the self-control. Like, just tell yourself, like, no, I can do this. That little change of telling yourself I can do this is gonna go a long way for you. So the next thing I highlighted was, this one is one of the things that was kind of huge for me. It's kind of where I started, or not kind of, it is where I started more of my inner deep healing, is when you realize this. It's kind of like, holy crap. But so this one is, it says, we don't choose our earliest habits, we imitate them. We follow the script handed down by our friends and family, our church or school, our local community, and society at large. Each of these cultures and groups comes with its own set of expectations and standards. When and whether we get married, how many children we have, which holidays to celebrate, how much money to spend on your child's birthday party. In many ways, these social norms are the invincible rules that guide your behaviors each day. You're always keeping them in mind, even if they're not at the top of your mind. Often you follow the habits of your culture without thinking, without questioning, and sometimes without remembering. So a lot of the times that your habits that you're doing is just a society normal. It's just we see it on TV, we see it from friends, we see it from family. Again, we see it from church, we see it from everybody. So it's just, we subconsciously gather those habits from other people, and so other people's bad habits become our habits. I'm gonna add in here that I wasn't really a big pop drinker. I didn't drink a lot of soda. When I first moved together, like, we would be eating and I would see that he's eating a Coke. And so when I first moved here, and I tell you guys, like, I was already starting to get a little heavier. And then plus on top of that, I added soda into the mix. So every time we would eat, I would grab a soda with him. And so that is where that's how easy a habit can be implemented. So are you creating this habit because you truly think you need it, or are you just implementing it because it's something you saw? My favorite thing to like say, and it goes a long way with kids as well, is monkey see, monkey do. So yeah, I will go to the next little part. I hope you guys pick up this book. It's actually a really good one, and it goes in and it tells you how to even make better habits. So speaking of making new habits, one of the things in here that I wanted to share with you guys is the 2-minute rule. So it talks about that if you are going to change something in your life, if you're going to start a new habit, scale it down to 2 minutes. because then you want to start small. Like if you start right away and you say you want to achieve something huge, it's most likely that you're not going to do it. So I would tell you, like, if you're going to change one of your habits, I would tell you do something that you can do in less than 2 minutes. So if you want to add more reading, if you want to change the habit of reading more, I would say maybe say I'm gonna read 2 pages before I go to sleep every day. 2 pages is perfect if you haven't read in a while. Just move that up to 5 pages or move that up to 10. Like, just start slowly, because then if you start many habits at the same time, it is going to be harder for you to stay consistent. So yeah, start there. Start with so what is something that you can change to where it's less than 2 minutes or 2 minutes of your time. And then the last thing that I wanted to add or from the book is, let's see. So when you cling too tightly to one identity, you become brittle. Lose that one thing and you lose yourself. So that one was kind of that one was one of the ones that kind of hit me a lot, because we cling to an identity of who we think we need to be. And so I would ask yourself, who is it that I want to be? Not who do others want me to be. Because the more that you let go of that identity of who you're supposed to be according to society or according to your family or according to your friends, the closer that you will come to realize that you can get closer and find yourself. So yeah, guys, that is where I started in my journey, and one of the things that has helped me in really self-development is looking at my everyday habits, looking at the excuses that I put, because at the end of the day, the only person that can change those habits or stop using the excuses is yourself. It truly is. Like, no one can change that habit for yourself other than yourself. So I do want to challenge you guys to look at where you're putting an excuse, or where you are putting where you have one of your habits, and just tell yourself that you're slowly gonna start changing that. If you want to add more exercise to your day, one of the things that I started with my exercise in being able to lose weight was connecting to yoga. And I love that the one I use, it's actually Yoga by Adrienne on YouTube. She has like 10 to 15 minute ones, and at the end in the beginning, I would actually do like 10 or 15 minute ones, and then now I can actually sit through an hour of yoga. And that took almost, like a year to do. So I will say, like, have patience with yourself. Have that power. Like, let that power that you have inside of yourself drive you into wanting that change. Be your biggest fan. When you do something and you achieve it, like, tell yourself, like, yay, celebrate your little wins, because that's what's really going to get you to change something that is in you that you haven't wanted to change, or that you don't even notice you do. So yeah, guys, and if you guys ever want encouragement or some tips on what to do, my DMs are always open on Instagram. Go ahead and send me questions if you guys want, or a way to like walk you through habits or something. If there's anything at all that you want to ask me, go ahead and do it. My DMs are open for you. I will say, I want to add, if you pick up this book, let me know what you think of it. It's actually been one of my favorite books, and this actually holds a really special place in my heart, because I was actually a part of an in-person book club, and it was it was life-changing because it was the very first time that I had been around a group of girls that all wanted change within themselves. So I will tell you that join a book club or join similar minds that want change, that is going to help you, because when you're around people that have a different mindset or have a mindset of you like you that you want change, it's going to be easier. In the book it does say that your environment has a lot to do with your habits, so check who you're around, and make new friends. Like, we only have one life, so enjoy it the best way that you can. So yeah, I will end this video with that. I really liked ending my video with a little prayer. It just felt right. So if you will take a second and just do a quick little prayer with me, I will just start it, and then I will say goodbye here. I do want to say quick thank you for joining in on my second video. I am going to try my hardest to post every single Sunday. So yeah, I will just start with or end with this prayer, and I hope you guys have the best rest of your day. So close your eyes and just take a deep breath, the biggest breath you've taken all day. Hi God, I want to say thank you for bringing me here again in my second video, for giving me the opportunity to record this video. I want to ask you to bless the person on the other side of this screen. I also want you to give us the strength to be able to look at ourselves and change one habit this week. I want you to help us continue to build community and continue to make new friends. I do want to say thank you, and I want to say that I love you and I love you guys. And again, thank you so much for coming in, and I will see you guys on the next.